What's up, freaks? First, let me start by saying I did have an awesome intro that involved Gumpy. He was super fired back. Ah, jeez. What's up, freaks? First, let me start by saying I did have an awesome intro that involved Gumpy. He was super fired up to be back in the videos. He was actually eating my arm, kind of getting a little crazy. Unfortunately, though, it stopped recording. So, I couldn't use it. I'm here by myself because I'm getting ready to fly out to TX2K and I'm going to be at the Precision Turbo booth. So if you freaks are going to be there, make sure you stop by and say hi. I can't wait to see y'all. I hope there's sunshine, man, because I could use some of that in my life. But anyway, the topic of today's video, I get lots of questions. I got one recently that hit home and I'm like, let's talk about that real quick. And the other question I get all of the time, I'm going to briefly touch on. But the first one is, did I ever think I would own a car as beautiful as this? So I'm going to talk about that. And then sponsorships. How do I get them? Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to briefly touch on that. And maybe one day I'll do a video separate of that. And again, just on my opinions on how they work. I don't care about them so much as I do partnerships, but that's just me. Anyway, then we'll jump into the plans in the car as we move into the dyno session number 2. Are you ready? Oh yeah, frick, he's not here. Anyway, let's go.
To some losses through the process had me furious, but I got eyes on the vision, can't get delirious. Fall in love with the game and then you marry it. I think I married it. This the anthem. If you reckon with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up.
All right, Gumpy. So let's talk about it. Here's the question we got asked. Did we ever think we would own a car like this? So I guess in the simplest way I can personally put it is, I don't know what kind of car I was ever gonna own, but I always knew I wanted to be a daggum race car driver. I used to literally take the steering wheel of my uncle's race car, hook that thing up, and frickin' become daggum Dale Earnhardt, baby. I was the intimidator. I could feel it in my bones. I've always believed with all of my heart, this is where I was supposed to end up. I didn't know exactly how I would get here, but yes, in my heart, I always believed I was meant to be a daggum race car driver. So I guess the real question would be, did I ever think I would get here and know exactly how? No, I could not have predicted this pathway in a million years. What I did know was I was gonna fight my ass off to try to get in a race car. And I was gonna do everything I could to win races. That's all I want to daggum do, man, is just win freaking races. I am falling more in love with the process of building the car, but your boy gets off on the adrenaline rush. That is what I live for. It is the one selfish thing I've been doing since I started this, and that is lining up next to somebody mano a mano and seeing if you can do the dang thing. So yeah, 4 or 5 years ago, I made a massive change in my life. I was 300 pounds, an addict, and I decided I was gonna fight all that. Matter of fact, I'm still fighting it today. I love junk food, and I love everything I was addicted to. I, however, love trying to make an impact on the world much more. It is my why, to try to inspire people who've never seen somebody make a true change in their life, to show you it is possible, to show you you can start at the ground level and truly work your way up. I just want to inspire people to do the same thing. Get out there and daggum, try something, make the change in your life, be the change you want to be. And that is kind of what is leading me to the point of how this happened. Because that, I again, could never have predicted in a million years. It still blows my mind to this day. So yeah, we started with Russ Kuhn and we worked with Rackfink and then we had Rackenstein and then we wrecked. I didn't even know anybody was really watching us. Of course, I'm trying to make an impact. I'm trying to spread positivity, but I had no ulterior motive. And still to this day, I do not. And the Lord just keeps blessing me and it doesn't even make sense half the time. So to answer the question, did I know I would own a car like this? I would say no. I just always dreamed I could and I just worked really hard towards it. And there's so many amazing parts behind me and so many people get wrapped up in the build of the car. Well, actually talking to Tyler Hassing a long time ago, I realized the people behind the car are what made it special to me. Same things goes with all of these parts. I don't see the boosted fab mount, like that holds my engine stout and does all of the engine mount things. I see Curtis and Bree and the relationship that I have with them and how blessed I am to know them. Same thing with anti-lag, Machine Concepts, Precision, LTA Racing, 4G6. I don't even want to start listing people because I have been so blessed to build so many relationships with so many people, it doesn't even make sense. So I'm going to answer the question the best way I know how, with exactly what happens every day when I walk into this shop. Look what I got, Gump, a tinky stinky chicken. Dang, dude. Oh, what do you got, a stinky? Sheesh. Gump, did you see that? Oh, what's up, Gump? What's up? Look at that frickin' car, dude. I have to be dreaming right now. So, does that help get the point across? So whether you understand where I started or not, it's still surreal to me every time I go to do this. I'm very blessed, and I don't deny that. But I worked very hard to be in the spots that I'm in, so never underestimate that. Because if you do, you miss my entirety of my message, which is you can be right here too. It's gonna take more work, more time than you can ever imagine. Like, there's days where I wake up and I don't wanna do this. I don't wanna make videos. I don't even wanna work on my car. There's days where I don't wanna do the process. I just wanna race the car. But I always do the hard stuff anyways. And I work hard to put myself around people who are gonna help me grow and achieve my goals. I've never once chased sponsorships, ever. Never worried about it. Didn't worry about it. I worried about being somebody that maybe people would want to sponsor. So that's my advice to you, man. If you're out there working towards something, don't work towards that, like that thing that means nothing, which is, again, like a sponsorship. Work towards a partnership. Work towards being a better you before you do anything else. That is what's going to help you grow and achieve these goals. And I only know that from my own personal experience. So, no, again, I can't believe this is my freaking car. Because if you would have seen the car I started with, I shouldn't have even launched it because the freaking gas tank straps were rusted off and half the trailing arms weren't attached to anything. But here we dadgum are. And the only reason this will mean anything to me is if it inspires you to go for the thing you want to do. So I'm not ending the video, but I have to say it. Getting outside of your comfort zone is where it's at. Feed your daggum dreams. Starve those fears. All right, so what did we learn on the dyno? Well, we learned one thing. I wouldn't say we even learned this, but we knew that the injectors weren't going to be enough. However, budget's a reality, and daggum injectors are expensive. So while I'm working the pull, you mind your daggum business. Race car parts are expensive. Again, like I talked about in the last video, on my to-do list was a catch can overflow type deal for the transmission dipstick. I didn't have it. Poor planning on my part. I don't freaking know. Sometimes race car. Sometimes I'm starting to learn it can't be perfect. And I'm really hard on myself when I mess up, but I needed to learn that way. That's the way I'm going to look at it. So I learned it. And guess what? I'm going to order one. And I'm going to order it because I can get it for $100. By the time I make it and put the bungs and all that, it ain't worth it to me. So hopefully it can mount right here. That's my plan. And it'll just be a little feed. And then obviously as it fills up and it stops, it'll empty back in. So that's one thing we did learn. So Curtis took the time to make me this amazing custom catch can back here. And it's got a freaking raccoon on it. Have you guys went and bought one? If not, you're missing out because it's the perfect can. Unless you're doing what I just did on the dyno. I didn't have enough hose at the shop to run it all the way back, but I didn't want the fumes blowing in the car, so I put it in that hole where the gas tank is. Probably technically fine given the dyno circumstances and the little bit of road driving I did, but I got back to the shop and I'm looking at the car and I'm like, it's leaking in the middle of the car. There's nothing there but fuel. I forgot that I put that hose there. Well, as you can imagine, it vented a little bit. So I had a little bit of a mess underneath the car. So I need to buy the rest of the daggum hose to run it where it's supposed to go. Imagine having a perfect thing that does the perfect stuff and you don't use it. Idiot. Now you probably can't see too well back here, but there's a bar that comes off of the roll cage and it mounts to the back of the seat, or it did before I moved it. So we got a little bit of flex there. That needs to be adjusted or put spacers there, whatever we're gonna do. Also, there's something else that's missing. Oh, seat belts. Mine were out of cert, so I need to figure that out. Something I did not think about before the dyno, even though it was on the daggum list. Lists are amazing if you freaking read them, dude. I, however, do not. Also, on that same to-do list, right next to get seat belts, is get the cage certified. Yeah, since it's been to Red Rocket Racing and it's been upgraded, I have not gotten it certified. Why? Because I was only on the track for about 3 seconds and blew the car up and it wasn't a priority. Now heading into this season, it has to be done because I think we're gonna be out there on the track just doing what we do, competing. So that is something else I daggum did. You know what? Somebody should get the list out and tape it back on the windshield of the car. Whose idea was it to take it off? Was it yours? Did you do it, Gumpy? I'm blaming you. That's your fault, right? If it had ball on it, you'd remember it. Anyway, and so that it doesn't seem so random, I did not touch base on the fact that my alternator belt ended up snapping because I had that bracket made and every time I tightened it with the tensioner, it got a little crooked. I knew it was gonna be a problem. I was just hoping it would last until I came up with a new solution. It did not. So I came up with a new solution. Here it is. All right, so after a bunch of going back and forth, the bracket that I had, I just knew that it was temporary. I just didn't know it was this temporary. After having some other people see what I was talking about, we decided to cut this bracket and cut the alternator because it's not going to be too aggressive of a thing to have to worry about on the road if that does pop up as a problem. Also, up here, you're able to thread through both sides. On this bottom option, you're not. Well, we made it so you could. It's looking like it's going to interfere with the timing cover. If that's the case, I'll try to find some different hardware or something, but I needed it down here because it changed the complete trajectory of this tensioning rod. And now we are in business. So I feel much better about swapping this over. Now, I would just point down here and show you, but part of the problems I talked about was that bolt was most likely going to rub on the timing cover. That ended up happening. So Ryan grinded that down and made it so that it could fit perfectly. I won't be able to adjust that. I shouldn't really need to. Also, I had to get a shorter belt because outside of the car it fit fine, but inside of the car it was hitting on the front subframe. Dadgummit. I'm not going to cut the front subframe, so we got a shorter belt. And then when we got the shorter belt, the little tensioning rod was now too long. Well, it wasn't too long. It would have worked, but it wasn't going to give me any adjustment. The reason I want adjustment is so that when I get to the track, whether I'm on a drag and drive or I'm just showing up to race, I can street drive the car with the alternator belt on and then get there, loosen the little tensioning rod while I'm switching the wheels over, and then pop the belt off so I don't have to worry about overspinning the alternator or breaking the belt, whatever. So it all made sense. And again, I'll show you, but it's a dark hole. And basically, you're just gonna have to take my word for it. Stay charged up. And as far as the checklist goes, I'm gonna be honest with you, I had a few mistakes that took up quite a bit of time that day, so we didn't even get to make sure that the car got up on the brake properly and spooled up and all that fun stuff. So that is something that Tyler and I talked about. What is the plan moving forward? Well, we gotta get the injectors and we gotta make sure it gets up on the brake. So yes, the car is going back on the dyno for round number 2. So boom, that's all the progress for today's video. I just thought it'd be really fun to talk about that question, give you a progress update, get some clarity on some of the things that need to be done. Also, in case you didn't know, we are going to TX2K with Precision Turbo. I'll be at the booth. Again, I'm the circus clown. I'm the one who's going to be talking crap to you. Don't get offended. I don't mean anything unless you buy something. And I meant it because it worked. And I'm going to use it again and again and again and again. So anyway, if you can't afford the spool, I can still make you look cool. I can get you in some Precision Turbo gear. Go ahead and swing through there. Tell them Harley sent you. I can't get you a discount because I'm not that cool, but I'll work on it. I'll give you a free sticker or something. But I'm trying my very, very best to make progress. Our first goal to be at the track is whatever day, April 14th, 15th, 16th, 20th, I don't know. Sometime in the middle of April, but it's for street car bragging rights. We're going to be in the street car index. We'll see what we can do. I'm going to try to get some testing in way before that, but I'm not going to promise anything because race car. That's all I got. And by the way, how's progress going on your projects? Are you out there working on, what? Huh? Oh, Gumpy says if you're not, they're daggum not getting done. So as always, I encourage you guys to be just like Gumpy is with his ball and get out there. Get outside your comfort zones. Feed dreams and start fears, y'all.